you're working on an answer, find, and shade worksheet that's covering two-step fill in the blanks. And this is a level 1 worksheet. So I assume you don't have a lot of algebra experience or experience solving two-step equations. So what we're going to do is we're going to use mathematical reasoning and other different strategies to solve these equations. In other words, we're going to use our math brains. And to help us do this, we're going to create an input-output chart. So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper and copy what I write down here. You got a piece of paper? Good. Copy what I write. Right here, you're going to have rule. Then next to that, we're going to have input. Then next to that, we're going to have output. And if you want to make sure we got this all nice and neat and organized, you can create some lines. So we'll put a line right here. We'll put a line right here, here, and here. So create this chart for me. You can press pause if you need some time, but make sure it's big enough because we're going to use this to solve all the problems. All right, I'll wait for you. Press pause, press play when you're ready. So I assume you've made your input-output chart. I made one using the computer right here to help us out. So let's look at the directions. It says, fill in the boxes to make each statement true. The two boxes for each problem are the same answer. So if we come down to problem 1, they did it for us already, and they put 12 in this box and 12 in this box. Do you see how it's the same answer? Number 1 says the boxes are the same answer. Number 2, it says find the answer in the key below. Number 3 says shade in the corresponding letter. Well, first off, this is 12 because 12 minus 4 is 8. And 20 minus 12 is 8. Do you see how you get the same answer on both sides? What you're trying to do is fill in these boxes so you get the same number in each box. And you also get the same answer on both sides. So they have to be equal. And after you get the answer, which is 12 in the box, we come down here to our box down here and we look for 12. 12, 12, there it is, it's H. So right here, we have H. So we come back up to the picture, sorry I covered it up right now, and we'd find all the H's and shade them in. Remember, you're looking for the letter, not the number. And we're also looking for the answer in the box, not the answer you get when you solve the equation. So we're looking for this answer right here in the box. Think box, box. So let's get started. We got this input-output chart to help us. And let's look at problem number 2. Problem 2 says empty box minus 16 and 64 minus an empty box. Well, first off, we know the answer has to be less than 64. And you might be saying, how did you figure that out? Well, 64 minus 64 is 0. And there's no way I can put 64 over here and get 0. So we know the answer has to be less than 64. We also know that the answer has to be bigger than 16. Because we put 16 minus 16 here, we get 0. But if you put 16 over here, there's no way you're going to get 0. And remember, we're trying to get the same answer on both sides when we solve the equation. So we know the answer has to be between 16 and 64. And I'm going to randomly pick a number that I think is in the middle. Let's say 30. Now, we come over to our input-output chart. And you see how it says rule? Well, our rule is telling us what to do to the box. So the first side, we're going to minus 16. On the other side, we're doing 64 minus the box. Our input is what we think the answer is going to be. So we're going to put 30, because I think that's the answer. And now all we do is 30 minus 16, which is 14. And 64 minus 30 is 34. Well, clearly you can see I missed it. So I must have picked the wrong answer. Now, if we look at the input-output chart, I can tell you right away that our number is too small. And I can tell you that is because when we subtract the 64 minus 30, we get 34, which is a bigger number. So this is telling us our number is too small. So let's try 40. If I put 40 here and 40 here, then I put my rule back, minus 16, 64 minus. 40 minus 16 is 24, and 64 minus 40 is 24. Woohoo! Do you see how I got the same answer for the output, and we use the same answers for our input? In our box, we're going to put 40. And 40, because 40 minus 16 is 24, and 64 minus 40 is 24. Then we come down here and find 40 in our box. You see how I'm not looking for 24, I'm looking for 40. So I come down here and find 40. 40 is V. And then I'd come back up to the picture and I'd shade in all the V's I can find. And again, I apologize that my input-output chart's in the way, but I think you get the idea. This is what I want you to do. I want you to press pause and try to work on 3, 4, and 5 on your own. When you get them done, press play and we'll go over the answers. See you in a bit. Alright, welcome back. Before we start working on the problems, really quick, if this worksheet is too easy for you, maybe you should be working on level 2 or level 3, or you just don't have to listen to me and work on the worksheet on your own. But if you need my help, I'm here for you. So let's get to the problems. You're working on problem number 3, and 3 says 12 minus a box equals a box times 2. Let's use our mathematical reasoning or our math brains to help us make a guess. First off, I can tell you the answer is going to be bigger than 0. And you might say, why does it have to be bigger than 0? Well, 2 times 0 is 0. And there's no way I can put a 0 here and get 0. So we know the answer is going to be bigger than 0. We also know the answer has to be less than 6. And again, you might be saying, how did you know that? Well, 2 times 6 is 12. And check it out. We have 12 here. So the highest number, or the largest number we're going to get is 12. And if I put 6 here, 12 minus 6 is 6. I also know the answer is going to be even. And again, you might say, how did you know that? Well, 2 times 5, 2 times 3. These all give you even numbers, correct? So anything multiplied by 2 is going to give us an even number. But if I put an odd number over here, like 12 minus 5, I'm going to get 7, which is an odd number. So if I put an odd number in, one side is going to be even, and the other side is going to be odd. So that's what we know. Let me write that down for you. We know the answer's got to be bigger than 0, but less than 6, and it has to be even. So our only choices are 2 and 4. Let's try 4. So I'm going to come over to my input-output chart. I'm going to put 12 minus. I'm going to put times 2. I'm going to put 4 for my input because that's what I think is going to go in the box. 12 minus 4 is 8, which is the output, which is the answer. And 4 times 2 is 8. We got 8, 8, and we got 4, 4. So we know 4 is going to go in the box. And now we come down to our bigger box and we look for 4. 4 is going to be letters C, C. We come up to the picture and we're looking for all the CC's and we shade them in. Let me clean this up really quick and we'll start looking at problem number 4. Problem number 4. We know the answer has to be smaller than 53 because 53 minus 53 is 0. And you can't put a 53 here and get a 0. We also know the answer has to be bigger than 7 because 7 plus 7 is 14 and 53 minus 7 is not even going to come close to 14. So we know our answer is somewhere between 7 and 53. 7 and 53. And if I pick a number close to the middle, let's say about 30, I'm going to put 30 in my input. That means 30, I'm guessing, is going to go right here and right here. So I put my rule, 53 minus and plus 7. And 53 minus 30 is 23. I'm going to put a 30 there. 7 plus 30 is 37. This tells me that this number right here is too big because our answer right here is too small. It's smaller than this one. You see that? So we got to try something smaller. I say let's try 25. So I put 25 in both my inputs. I have 53 minus plus 7, and 53 minus 25 is going to give me 28. And 7 plus 25 is going to give us 32. Again, this is too small. So that means this number is too big. So let's try 23. So I picked 23. 53 minus 23 plus 7. So we got 53 minus 23 is 30. And 7 plus 23 is 30. Do you see how they're the same? That means we got the correct answer. Inner box right here is going to be 23 and 23. Let me erase this to clean it up. Because 53 minus 23 is 30, and 23 plus 7 is 30. Gives us the same answer. So we're going to come down to our little box. And remember, we're looking for the answer in the box, not this answer. No, no. So when we look for the answer down here, we're looking for 23. And 23 is letter E. So we're going to look for E in our shading. Problem number 5. We have 5 plus a box and 27 minus a box. Well, we know again, it's going to have to be less than 27 because we put 27 here, we will get 0. And we cannot put a 27 here and get 0. We also know the answer is going to have to be bigger than 5 because 5 plus 5 is only 10 and 27 minus 5 is much bigger than 10. So we know our answer is going to be between 5 and 27. So let me put our rules up here. Rule number 1 is 5 plus. Our other rule is 27 minus. And I'm looking for an answer somewhere in the middle between 27 and 5. Now, you might be saying, well, what's an easier way of finding a number in the middle? Well, a really quick way of finding a number in the middle of 27 and 5 is to do the average. 27 plus 5 is 32, and all you do is divide 32 by 2, or take half of it, and you get 16. So I know 16 is in the middle of 5 and 27. So let's try 16. If I put 16 here and 16 here, 5 plus 16 is 21, and 27 minus 16 is going to be 11. Whew, we missed that one. This tells us that 16 is too big because 27 minus 16 gives us 11, which is way too small from 21. You notice how I picked the subtraction one to find out if the number is too big or too small. So this 16 is too big. Let me clean this up really quick. Do you see how this one number is 5 right here? I'm guessing that we might be 5 too high. So let's try 11 right here. So we got 5 plus 27 minus. 5 plus 11 is 16, and 27 minus 11 is 16. We got the same answer again. So it means that inside our box is going to be 11. And if I put 11 right here and 11 right here, 5 plus 11 is 16, and 27 minus 11 is 16. So again, we are looking for the number 11 down here in our box, not 16, 11. Whatever goes in the box, we're looking down here in the box. Box for box. So we're looking for the number 11, and 11 is going to be JJ. So we come back up here, and you're going to shade in all the JJs. All right, so we've done problems 1 through 5 now. I'd like you to try 6 through 9 on your own. 6, 7, 8, and 9. When you're done with those, come back and we'll check your answers. If you get this, you don't have to listen to me. Just do the worksheet on your own. If you're struggling or you need help, I'm here for you. So I'll see you in a bit. Welcome back. You were supposed to do problems 6, 7, 8, and 9. So let's take a look at problem 6. Problem 6 says empty box times 4 equals an empty box plus 6. I got my input-output chart over here on the right side to help us out. But before I start using the input-output chart, let's put our mathematical brains to work. Well, we know we have times 4. And if we're multiplying it by 4, it means it cannot be a large number. Because look, if I put 10 here, 10 times 4 is 40. If I put 10 here, that's only 16. So we know the number cannot be a very large number. And we also know the number's got to be bigger than 0, because 0 times 4 is 0, and bigger than 1, because 1 times 4 is only 4, and it's not bigger than 6. So we know it has to be bigger than 1. So we're looking for a small number that's bigger than 1, smaller than 10. Well, let's try 2. Let's put it into our little rules right here. We have times 4 and plus 6. If I put 2 here and 2 here, 2 times 4 is 8, and 2 plus 6 is 8. There we go. So the answer must be 2. So we put 2 in the box, and we come down here to our other box, and we find 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 is R, and we mark R right there. Let me clean this up. Now problem number 7. Well, problem 7, we got an addition and a subtraction, so we know the number has to be smaller than 66, because 66 minus 66 is 0, and it has to be bigger than 4, because 4 plus 4 is only 8, which is way too small. So we know our answer is going to be between 4 and 66. Now I'm going to do the quick little average and find the number in the middle. 4 plus 66 is 70. I divide it by 2, and I get 35. So I'm going to try 35 first. So we have 4 plus, we have 66 minus, and I'm going to put 35 here, and 35 here. 4 plus 35 is 39, and 66 minus 35 is 31. So we know the number is too big, because when we subtract the 66 and the 35 right here, we only get 31. I'm guessing again, since the smallest number is 4 right here, I'm going to go 4 lower. And 35 minus 4 gives me 31. So I am going to try 31 for our answer. Put 31 there. I have 4 plus 31, and 66 minus 31. 4 plus 31 is 35, and 66 minus 31 is 35. So what goes in the box is 31 and 31. Because again, we get 35, and they're both the same answer on both sides. We come down here and find 31. 31 is going to be letter B. And again, remember, you're supposed to find all the letter B's in the picture up here and shade them in. Let me clean this up again, and we're going to do problem 8. And what can you tell me about problem 8? Well, problem 8 got a division. You're dividing by 2, and over here, you're subtracting by 9. Well, when you're dividing something by 2, you need something twice as big. We also know it has to be an even number, because if we divide something like 7 by 2, we're going to get a decimal or a fraction. It doesn't go in perfectly. So we know it has to be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on, an even number. We know it has to be bigger than 9, because 9 minus 9 is 0. So we know it has to be bigger than 9. Now, do you see how I'm using my mathematical brain, or my mathematical reasoning here, to answer the questions? So we know it has to be bigger than 9 and an even number. So let's try 10. So I'm going to come over here to my little rules. I'm going to divide by 2, and I'm going to minus 9. Well, if we put 10 here and 10 here, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 10 minus 9 is going to be 1. So we know we're too small. We need to make it bigger. Let's try 20 really quick. 20 divided by 2 minus 9. If we divide 20 by 2, we get 10. If we subtract, we get 11. Wow, we're really, really close, but we're too big. And again, we need an even number, and the next lowest even number is 18. I'm guessing it's going to be 18. We divide by 2, subtract 9. We divide by 2, we get 9. We subtract 9, we get 9. Same answer. So our answer is going to be 18. Now, if you think about this for a second to help us out on the next one, do you see how we divided by 2 here? Well, you probably should have known this. All we had to do was double this number. And what is 9 plus 9? It's 18. So we probably didn't have to do all this if our mathematical brain was working properly. I guess I got to tune mine up a little bit.
Mathematics makes me strong.
So let's take a look at problem number 9. Let me clean this up again. Take a look at it. You're subtracting 20 and dividing by 5. So let's do it in red. So we're dividing by 5, which means it has to be a multiple of 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We also know it has to be bigger than 20 because 20 minus 20 will only give us 0, so that won't work. So this one, this one, this one, and this one cannot be correct. So why don't we just try the next one, 25. So we have minus 20 here. We have divided by 5 here. We put 25, 25. 25 minus 20 is 5, and 25 divided by 5 is 5. Woohoo! That was fast. Oh, yeah. So this is 25, and this is 25. So we come down to our little boxy, and we're looking for 25, which would be letter Y. Y! So we're going to look for Y in the picture. So those were problems 6 through 9. What I'd like you to do right now is I'd like you to press pause, try doing 10, 11, 12, and 13 on your own. When you're done, come back to me. Again, if you got this and you're saying,
this is easy,
then you can just do it on your own. If you need my help, come back and I'm here for you. All right, see you in a bit. Welcome back. We're working on 10, 11, 12, and 13. Problem number 10. You're dividing by 3 and you're subtracting 6. We know the answer has to be a multiple of 3 because you're dividing by 3. So we're looking for 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. We also know the answer has to be bigger than 6 because 6 minus 6 will give us a 0. So it can't be that one, and it can't be that one. I just pick the next number, which is 9, and see what we get. So if we put this in our rules, dividing by 3, subtracting 6, we put 9 for our input. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 9 minus 6 is 3. Ha ha, that was easy. So this is 9, and this is 9, and they give us the same answer on both sides, so they're equal. So we come down here, we look for number 9. Number 9 is AA. Problem number 11. Problem 11, you are multiplying by 2 and adding 46. And if we're multiplying by 2, it means we're doubling a number. That seems kind of familiar. If we're doubling a number, let's say we put 10 here. Well, 10 times 2 is 20. So over here, this would actually have to be 10 plus 10, because 10 plus 10 is 20. So whatever this number is, goes over here. My mathematical brain's starting to think.
I got it!
Wait a sec, so this must be 46 because 46 plus 46 is the same as 2 times 46. So let me put it over here just to make sure. We're timesing 2, we're adding 46. If we put 46 here and 46 here, 2 times 46 is 92, and 46 plus 46 is 92. Remember, when you're multiplying by 2, you're just adding the number twice. So 5 times 2 is 5 plus 5. All right, so we got 46 for our answer. And I come down here and I find 46, and 46 is J. So we'll look for J in our picture and we'll shade that in. Problem number 12 says something plus 3 equals 43 minus something. We have an adding and subtracting, so we know the answer has to be smaller than 43, because 43 minus 43 will give you 0. And it has to be bigger than 3, because 43 minus 3 is 40, and 3 plus 3 is 6. So we know it has to be somewhere between 3 and 43. I'm just going to add 3 plus 43, which equals 46. Then I'm going to divide it by 2 to find the number perfectly in the middle, which would be 23. So I'm going to come over here into my input-output chart. Our rule is plus 3 and 43 minus. I'm going to put 23 there, 23 there. 23 plus 3 is 26. And 43 minus 23 is 20, which tells me our number is too big because this guy right here is too small. And again, I'm thinking about what we did before, and I'm thinking maybe we should be subtracting 3. So let's take 3 less, and 23 minus 3 is 20. So I'm going to try 20 plus 3, 43 minus 20 plus 3 is 23. 43 minus 20 is 23. Now this is getting easier and easier as we go along. So this is 20. Let me erase that really quick right here. All this. Let me clean this up for you so I don't get too messy. So this is going to be 20. So we come down to our little box and we're looking for 20. And 20 is EE. EE, not ET, but EE. So we go up to the answers and we try to find EE. All right, last one in this group, problem 13. We have 2 times, which means we're doubling something again. And we have 48 minus. Uh-oh, this is a little more confusing because we're minusing, subtracting. So what do we know? Well, first off, we know the answer has to be an even. And you might say, why does it have to be even? Well, anything multiplied by 2 is going to give us an even number. 2 times 3 is 6, even. 2 times 4 is 8. So anything times 2 is even. But if we come over here and try to subtract an odd number, we're going to get an odd answer. Like 48 minus 3 is going to give us 45. So there's no way that we're going to get 45 when we're multiplying by 2 unless we're not multiplying by an exact whole number, which we need a whole number to make this look correct. So we know the answer has to be an even number. We also know the answer has to be less than 48 because 48 minus 48 will give us 0, so it has to be less than 48. So we got less than 48 and even. All right, so let's just pick something kind of in the middle. Let's pick 24, and you might say, where did I get 24? Well, I divided 48 by 2, and I got 24. So let's come over to our input-output chart. We're multiplying by 2. We're doing 48 minus. I said my first guess was 24, and 24 times 2 is 48. And 48 minus 24 is 24. Well, we missed that one by a mile. We know the answer has to be smaller than 24 because 2 times 24 gave us all the way up to 48. So if I was thinking about this, I'd probably cut 24 in half and try 12. So let's try 12. Put 12 here and 12 here. This is 2 times. This is 48 minus. And 2 times 12 is 24. And 48 minus 12 gives us 36. And this tells us now the number is too small. So now we just got to think of a number between 12 and 24. I'm just going to guess, how about 16? Sounds like a nice one. 16, 16, 2 times 48 minus 2 times 16 is 32. 48 minus 16 is 32. Check, check, and check, check. Woohoo! Now, remember, I wasn't going to pick any of the odd numbers like 17 or 19 or 21 because they were all odd and we knew the answer had to be even. And that's one of the reasons why I picked 16. So 16 goes right here and we get the same answer. Come down to our little box and we're looking for 16, which is K. Okay? Okay. K. So you find K up at the top. Okay? Okay. This is what I want you to do. I want you to press pause, work on 14, 15, 16, and 17. When you're done, come back to me and we'll finish this up. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back. We're doing 14, 15, 16, and 17, and we're all done. Problem 14. We've got a +2 and a 56 minus. You already know the answer has to be smaller than 56 because 56 minus 56 will give us 0. And we know it's going to definitely have to be bigger than 2 because 2 plus 2 is only 4. It's way too small. So we know the answer is somewhere between 2 and 56. Again, I'm just going to add 2 plus 56, and I'm going to get 58. I'm going to divide that by 2, which will give me 29. So I'm going to use 29 as my first input. 29 and 29. And we have +2 and 56 minus 2 plus 29, or 29 plus 2 is going to be 31. And 56 minus 29 is going to give us 27. Which tells us the number is too big because when you subtract by 29, you only get 27. It's too small. So my guess, again, you see how we did a +2? I think if we subtract 2 from this and get 27 and 27, I think this will give us the right answer. +2 and 56 minus. So 27 plus 2 is 29. And 56 minus 27 is 29. All right, so we got 27. Let me clean this up really quick. So right here, you're going to have 27 and 27. So we're going to come down to our box, and we are going to find 27. 27 is HH right here. So we're going to mark that, and we come up to our picture, and we shade in an HH. Remember, there's going to be a few of them. Let me clean this up. Problem 15. We're doing 30 minus an unknown or an empty box. And we're doing times 5. Now, your mathematical brain should start clicking.
Click, 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 click.
And you say,
Oh, yeah!
and you'll say, I already know that the answer has to be less than 6. And you might be saying,
How did you know that?
because if you multiply this by 6, you're going to get 30. And the highest number you have is 30. So the answer has to be less than 6. And if you think about it, it also has to be a multiple of 5 when we multiply this and subtract this. So the only answer I can even think of working is 5 or 0. But 0 won't work because 0 times 5 is 0. So let's try 5 at our input-output chart. We put 5 right here. We're doing 30 minus times 5. 30 minus 5 is 25. And 5 times 5 is 25. There we go. So we know our answer is going to be 5. Let me clean this up. So 5 is going to go in the box right here. There's going to be a 5. And right here, there's going to be a 5. And we come down here and we're looking for 5. 5, 5, 5 is T. Mr. T.
I pity the fool.
Right there. So we find Mr. T up in the picture and we shade him in. All right. Number 16. Let me clean this up really quick while you take a look at it. We're timesing by 3 and we're adding 20. So we know it has to be bigger than 6. And you might say,
How do you know it has to be bigger than 6?
and I say, check this out. You put a 6 here, you only get 18 because 3 times 6 is 18. If you put a 6 here, you get 26. So we know it has to be higher than 6, bigger than 6. All right? And what else do we know? We know it has to be less than 20. And you might again say,
How did you know it could be less than 20?
well, if I put 20 here, 3 times 20 is 60. But if I put 20 here, you only get 40. We know the answer has to be between 6 and 20. And if I kind of just guess an easy one, let's just pick 10 because that's a quick one. We'll put 10 in our input-output chart right here and 10 here. That's actually a 10. And we say multiply by 3 and plus 20. 3 times 10 is 30 and 20 plus 10 is 30. What a guess! So we're going to put 10 right here and 10 right here. We come down to our box and we're looking for 10. 10, 10, 10. 10 is A. Woohoo! That's what I get on all my tests are A's.
Sure, right.
And then we find A in the picture. Why don't I clean this up while you take a look at problem 17? Oh, 17's the last problem. All right, problem 17. We are dividing by 6 and then doing 28 minus an unknown. Well, again, this tells us it has to be a multiple of 6 to give us a whole number. So we're talking like 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. So we're going to divide by 6. We also know the number has to be smaller than 28 because we put 28 here. 28 minus 28 will give us 0. So we know it can't be that one or that one. So our only choices are these 4 choices right there. All right, only 4 choices and we're guessing. All right. And my guess, I just take the biggest one, which would be 24. Just start with 24 and work our way down. Let me put our input-output chart out a little better. So if we put 24 here, 24 here, we're dividing by 6 for our rule. And we're 28 minus. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. And 28 minus 24 is 4. Ha, same answer, same answer. All right. We did so well on that one. So we put 24 here. Now, remember, I'm trying to pick this really quickly. You might not be so perfect all the time. It might take you a little bit longer. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of using my mathematical brain to solve these quickly to show you the answers. There's nothing wrong if it took you a little longer. So we find 24 in our box. 24, 24, 24, 24 is P. All right, so we find P up in the picture and we shade in P. All right, we're all done. Now again, remember, if this was easy for you, that is great. If you struggled a bit, don't worry. Just take your time and you'll figure it all out. Well, I hope I helped you and see you next time.